Hello everyone, welcome to chapter 175 of The Last Thoughts of a Busy Mind, this one titled I, the Revolution. The title is a reference to the video game V, the Revolution. We will get to that, it's an important part of this episode. But first, my drink for today is, it's orange drink. It's not really orange juice, it's orange drink. Because I don't think there is a lot of juice in it. Let me take a sip. I mean, it looks absolutely artificial. Like, I'm sure there are orange paint cans that aren't this orange. Yep. If there is juice in this, I'll be a monkey's uncle. The Mufasa movie teaser came out. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm certainly not excited, but maybe I'm proven wrong. Maybe it's great. We will see. So far, not a lot of encouragement. Anyways, a huge chunk of the week that I had was swept up by a couple of things. I was working on a craft, which thankfully I managed to finish on time and send it. There's still I need to do more, but at the very least the first phase of it is over. And the video game, Video Revolution, took out a huge chunk of my week. I decided to thin out my installed games because I was running out of space. So first of all I played Republic of Pirates. I finished the campaign in 2 days and I felt that it was like Anno, and I'm not the biggest fan of Anno, so that was quietly swept under the rug. Then I uninstalled Prison Architect, which I've had for a while because I haven't gone back to it, and it's an easy game to reinstall if I ever get the Prison Architect itch again. The same way I did with Project High Rise. And I played a lot of Video Revolution, and then like towards the end of Act 1, and then for one reason or another I stopped playing, and so I got it back up. I also reinstalled Dishonored. Here we go again, I'm gonna play Dishonored again. But here's the thing, I was playing Video Revolution, and Video Revolution is, I'm not gonna say it's a complex game, but it is a complex narrative. And most of it is not even the narrative of the game itself. For those of you who probably have no idea what it is, because I didn't until my friend recommended it to me. Muhammad, my friend, recommended it to me. The game is you play a tribunal judge during the French Revolution. Alexis Fidelec. I know I'm saying all of it wrong. It's French, who cares? And you get to see the terror of Robespierre firsthand and actually participate in it. It is fictionalized, it is highly fictionalized. Like, for example, in my playthrough, Georges Danton actually survived. He survived and didn't go to the guillotine. And you can actually, I think, though it's gonna be hard, I think you can also spare King Louis. That would be funny. I should have done that. I maybe do that, as like for shits and giggles. I don't know which day it was, though. That's the problem. Anyways, so you get to play as a tribunal judge. You hear cases. It's a little bit like those deduction games. And then you go home. You have to basically balance the opinions of the household members against yourself. And then you have a semi-strategy thing where you get to control regions of Paris. Great. And there is like a turn-based battle, a lot of simple mechanics, a lot of things you probably have seen in other games. Now in this, where you get to play as a tribunal judge. Now as I said, I played like midway through Act 1, dropped the game. Not because I didn't like it, but because it was kind of slow for me, and I was thinking, okay, where is it going? I wasn't really into it. But once it got to Act 2, I really managed to get into it, and okay, let me do something. I'm going to do my call to action, and then I'm going to say spoilers, because I have to spoil some of the story of the game in order for me to make my point. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you can comment, you can email me, do talk to me. If you have Castbox, I also have that app and have the notifications enabled, so you can comment there as well. Anyways, do talk to me. I love that. I love to hear from you. But so the game, at the end of Act 2, something happens. I'm not going to tell you exactly what thing, but your actions are put through a different perspective. A certain bath-dwelling maniac actually exposes your character. It's Mora. He's not the unexpected thing. You have to play the game. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but throughout the game, I, at some point, maybe unwantedly, started to feel like, okay, I'm gonna play this character as extremely selfish and like the amount of the times I sent someone to the guillotine or acquitted them because I was trying to get the meters to work in a certain way was troubling if this was real. And then I remembered, oh my god, this shit was probably very real. It is still real. The fact that someone's life could be hanging on the balance based on a meter, on like the opinion of someone somewhere else, is horrifying, but that's kind of the reality of today. And I'm not saying that, as you know, it is what it is, because it is what it shouldn't be this way. So, you know, fuck people who want to tell you it is what it is, and, you know, you have to just move on from that. But as I was playing this game, at some point, when the ending came, I realized, oh my god, am I a good person? Well, you probably heard a break there, and I mean, if it goes according to plan, it was a great break at the right time. But yeah, my voice recorder ran out of battery. I usually have taken to connecting it to the laptop so I can use the bus powered option, but you know, sometimes I'm just not in the mood. Sorry about that. Anyways, so I started to ask myself this very simple question: am I a good person? Because I'm not sure. Truth is, when I was playing the game, as I said, it was probably a conscious choice halfway through the first act, probably at the end of it, that I'm gonna play selfishly, because I usually don't. If there is an option for me to be just, righteous, and good, that is usually the option I choose. But for this one, maybe because I was embodying a French person, I decided to go as cruel as I can and see how it works, you know, self-serving. The problem is, somewhere along the line, that very conscious choice became an unconscious choice, you know? Subconscious choice, sorry. Because I started to justify my actions in the game. Now, I know that is probably the intended thing, you know, like the game was designed for this exact kind of reaction. I'm like 80% sure that's the case. So what I'm experiencing is probably the intended result. It's nothing out of the ordinary. But the problem is, I kind of scared myself how easily I swept up into the chaos of the revolution and decided to use everything I can in my power to, do this, kill people. And it wasn't until the third act and looking at my actions from an outside perspective that I realized, oh my god, yeah, I did a lot of bad stuff. Now, at the time, I could justify it. I was like, oh, this guy tried to kill my son. This guy is a leech. This guy is bad. So I'm going to kill them and be better than them. But the truth is, at some point, is it really good? And so, yeah, it happened. I did it, and right now I haven't finished the campaign. I'm at the middle of Act 3. It's gotten a lot more strategy forward, action forward than the previous act. So yeah, there is that. Let me take a sip from the drink. I need it. But yeah, I'm actually imagining, am I a good person? Because this was a game. At the end of the day, these French people were imaginary. I mean, they're based off of historical characters, but this version of them were imaginary. I didn't actually kill anyone, I'm not gonna get into the philosophy of NPC, what we do to the NPCs, how it affects us. I know, discussion for another day. But at the end of the day, that didn't happen. But then I started to think, oh my god, how do I look to people around me? Am I a good person outside of the world of Vida Revolution? Am I really, really a good person or not? I have to tell you, I try to be. In real life, as much like video games, I try to be that goody two shoes, not goody two shoes, that's actually very wrong of me to say, but I try to be a good person, as I'm sure everyone do. Even genuinely evil people were probably trying to be good in their own fucked up ways. But after playing through the second act of Vida Revolution, I'm like, am I really a good person though? The good thing about Vida Revolution is that it's a narrative, It's a narrative-based game. At some point, the narrative is designed to flip on its head and judges your action. But since you're outside of that character, you get to judge alongside the game. The problem with real life is it is not narratively based. It's actually incredibly boring as a narrative. But in real life, you can't flip the switch, look at your actions from an outside perspective, have someone judge it, and because you're living outside of that, you get to judge yourself as well. Because usually when your actual real self is being judged, you get defensive and, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I started to think like, oh, am I really a good person? I don't know. I was more sure before I played this game. Now I know I'm having an over-dramatic reaction over a video game, but just so you know, depression, huge chunk of it. So yeah, cut me some slack, man. But I don't know. I've hurt people. I know that. I've hurt them unwantedly. Sometimes very dark places of my life, I did it deliberately. I know when I was in my teenage years, I tried to be like edgy, like all teens do, and I made bad jokes, off-color jokes, stupid jokes. I was thinking, life is meaning. I was a nihilistic edgelord, which thankfully did change a lot. Actually, I'm no longer a nihilistic edgelord, but I know I've hurt people. I know I've betrayed people's trust. I know I haven't been good to people. I made mistakes, and that's the thing. We all do that. I'm not trying to be like, oh, you have to be perfect, because you don't have to. But the problem is, these are the ones I know about. What about the ones I don't? Where are the pop-up events? I don't know, man. The game really fucked me up, because at some point I realized, oh yeah, I did all of this shit. I really did conspire to kill a lot of people, and when I had the chance to forgive them, I fucking didn't. I just killed them. Because they were in the way. The only person I helped was George fucking Danton. You know, things like this really want me to play the game again. This time, be the goody two shoes. And I mean, I probably cannot do that, because the game isn't designed that way. Because if your approval with a certain faction gets below a certain number, you get killed or fired. So, you have to keep them in a balance, and that means sometimes just sending people to the guillotine. But yeah, no, it fucked me up. On that note, it really got me the bug of I want to make video games again. Again, as if I want to make video games. I had a phase where I wanted to make video games, and then I was involved in the creation of a few video games, and none of them went through. All of them fell apart. So I kind of got out of that phase, got into board games, want to design a board game. I still do want to design a board game. But while I was playing Video Revolution, part of me really wanted to just try creating a video game. I have an idea. It's a long one. It's a point and click mystery game with a very, very stupid premise. But I feel like if I can make the characters good enough and alive enough with a lot of details, maybe I can give a cathartic experience to the player. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? I have very big imposter syndrome. Like, you have no idea. I genuinely don't think I'm a good writer or a good storyteller. But yeah. One more episode, by the way, in the year 2024. Next episode probably will be me just rambling again, because that's the usual thing. But the episode after that, which is going to be in 2025, is probably going to be a retrospective and planning for 2025. But yeah, I'm going to do the call to action again. You can comment. You can tell me if I'm a good person. If you're a long-time listener, you've heard a lot of intrusive thought. You had a lot of introspection and retrospection. So, am I a good person? I don't fucking know. It's hard. The only thing I can say without a shred of doubt is I fucking tried. That's what I want on my gravestone. Here lies Ali Khamse. He fucking tried. Thing is, not a lot of people can claim that either. I'll see you all next week.